Oh goodness, it's been a while. Hello. I had a few weeks off, Easter, and then there was some other Monday holiday thing. I don't know. Anyway, that all threw me a bit, and I think I needed a bit of a break anyway. And I'm getting ready for Art Weeks, so lots going on. But back again this evening. Hello. I have been painting though. So I've got a few bits and pieces. Might do a show and tell later, but not sure anybody's bothered about that. So let's do some palette scraping. That's what we're all here for, isn't it? Ugh. I have some tomatoes, a little bunch of 3, and a milk bottle with some dead daffodils in it, but the stalks are doing okay. And I'm going to try doing what would you call it? Sort of an uncomposed composition. How would I describe it? Things as you find them rather than an arrangement. There's probably a word for that. If I can't remember words, it's usually a good sign because means I'm going into picture mode. Let's just get rid of all of this. There's no paint worth keeping here. A proper clean up. I found this canvas, which if it turns out to be bad for whatever reason, I think it got left behind by someone at a, that's not my underpainting, but I do recognise it as one of my casts from a portrait class, so I think it's someone would have left it in a class and never wanted it back. Okay. Nice bit of blue background. I'm going to start with blue. I'm going to use a transparent blue, put a bit of a stain on, get rid of all of this, and have a think about where I might put things. Unlike a shadow there, that can be the edge of a tomato. I want it to fit into this sort of space. Yeah, something like that. And then the edge of the bottle, it's going to be somewhere over here. Blue background. I'm going to do that in a very straight line. Wondering whether I should tip some water out of it. I think I will actually. What needs watering? I'll chuck some on an orchid. Hopefully not poison it completely. How's that look? Where's my spaces? Something not entirely unlike that. Yeah, the bottle isn't really a part, an important part of the picture. Great. As a composition, I'm relatively happy with that. I think that's quite interesting. What am I going to need? I'm going to need some of that blue. I've only got some. Oh no, I've got some other white out. Oh, make that a bit greener. Let's make some grey. We'll lean to the blue side. I've got some cobalt left over. I wonder if that will help it along. Not really. If I put a bit in, subdue it slightly. Okay. Yeah. A bit bluer than that. Yes, a little bit. I think that is going to get a lot bluer because the blue and the red are really going to play. But the red is more important than the blue. So if one of them has to give, it'll be the blue. So I'll start it a bit duller. That's really just a, what do you call it? Test color, really. Oh, I can use some of that using up old paint. This feels good. Slightly greeny background color. Fairly neutral. There you are, that'll do for that. Softened red. Maybe a lot more yellow than that. Yeah, it's pretty orange. And then I need a tonally darker one. Needs a bit of yellow ochre in that. Yeah, there's a much deeper red in there, and there's a more orangey one as well, which I'll make with a bit of burnt sienna. Tiny bit of white, bit of yellow ochre. Well, we'll see what it does. Probably all sorts of other colours I'd want to find. Right, I've got a green for those stalks. I'm going to keep that quite neutral as well. So I've still got some red on the knife, so that's going to dull down this viridian. I want it to be more orange. The red, but the yellow ochre. Not sure about that. There we go, adding some viridian to it. That's nice and dark. Good. No, too. Oh no, is that too crisp? Yellow ochre to soften that down, and then an extra light one. Just lightening it more should make it a bit more sort of minty. That'll do as a placeholder. You can see what it does. Let's get some brushes, slap some paint on, see if it works. I'm being very straightforward and perfunctory this evening. Oh, I didn't do my shadow colour. I'll borrow it from here. There's a bit of previously mixed black. Now it's interesting, there'll be a purpley, well, slightly purpley. I'll borrow a bit of that red. Do for starters, as long as it's tonally correct, which that looks pretty good to me. I think that's okay. I'll put that on first. Yeah, there's a lot of canvas texture in this. So I'm really going to have to mix more paint and really load it up. That's all right. Let's do a bit of brush mixing as we go. Put some of that blue in. Bit paler again. Smashing. Well, back to my shadow colour because I didn't finish it all off. Something around there. No, it's just going to be fuzzy. Right. Wash my brush, which I didn't really need to do. Other brushes. There's one. Let's use this. Put some of these dark reds in. See what they do before I do anything with what's it going to call it? Anything with the background color. Really simple shapes. This will give me some context. And if I do come in with some background color, it should be this. That's sort of how thick the paint is going to have to get in order to sort of defeat the texture of this canvas. There's that, there's that. But interestingly, this is going to climb right up into there and sort of also leave an angle behind. Which will turn out to be edge of bottle eventually. Maybe I don't need to fuss about it any more than that. There, that's enough fiddly drawing. There we are. Maybe a bit in here. I just feel like it's going on very thin. That's interesting. Yeah, a bit more pure dark red going in there. More of the orangey one coming back the other side. As long as I've got all the shapes in. Hey, some of that blue maybe. It's a very green brush. I don't think we're going to use that. The others are too small. What do I do with all my brushes? Oh, there's some. Hey, you'll do. Right, don't want to get too caught up in that because it's all happening over on the side, and that's not really very important. What might be important is some of these blues travelling down, including into the shadow. Nice. That in here. I'm not quite so sure about that. Yeah. No. Okay, that's usually a good sign. Half an hour in. What else? I'm going to borrow some of this red to make a shadow colour, which will mix into the grey. We'll go in there and under there and under here, and then a slightly lighter one. Use my light colour and a little bit of that orange. Put a little just hint of that in there. There'll also be some of that. Around here, weirdly, it'll be lighter. Okay, let's make a darker one. There. Anywhere else this is going on? Help in here? No, not light enough. Where else is this happening? So mixing on the surface is all very well, but at a certain point, I'm going to want to mix actual colours and have them have them look right. Yep. So this is the tricky bit, is where I get to like the very brightest colours. Where's my reddest red? There's a bit. There's some in here. That's orange on the other side of that. Here's some, so it creates that border there. I'm not sure if there's any in this. Again, mixing on the surface again, isn't it? It's not. Yeah, there's this some really intense red border in between the orange and the shadow. got this orangey colour. I'm going to add some alizarin into it now. And that'll turn up the redness in a few places, but in a limited way and without going too high a chroma. That's nice. Same in there, still quite orange. Extra darks in there. Okay, so this is a pre-mixed colour. So I'm able to put that on slightly larger, more confident marks. Okay, here's some lemon yellow. Still really dark, but a bit closer to a maximum orange. It's going quite pink. Yeah. Now, there are some bits of pink there. Right here, there's a bit. As it goes along, you put more yellow into it. It won't get a lot darker. Loads more yellow to go in there. There we are. Bit of yellow in there. Oh, that was some concentrating. All right. Yeah, it's rubbish. Oh well. Lots of concentrating for nothing. I think this is one of the limits of orange. I've lost my tonal change. I think I've got to make the shadows darker. I think that's what's going to do it. In case anyone does need cheering up. He's collected all the balls together in one place. So there's a delay with the image, so. Having a good time. There you are. That's something to aspire to in life, isn't it? Oh, you know what else I haven't done? I haven't put the filter on. So we're getting a lot of shine off this paint. I don't want. Okay. Back into real time. Can't see that at the same time. Lots of shine. No shine. The other thing that isn't ideal is the brightness of the light, which I didn't adjust. So it's creating a certain imbalance. But I guess part of it is because there was a yeah. So the amount of light in the room. Oh. Oh. Any messages? No messages. We have watchers though. Yeah. What was I going to say? Yes. So I've been thinking of packing this in. It was always sort of just a thing I did to be accountable to myself, really. It got me painting. Don't really need that help at the moment. I'm quite capable of making myself paint without broadcasting it. I think I've done enough now as well. I mean, there's hundreds of them. So maybe I should just go about promoting the ones that I've done. This might be okay actually. If I go ahead and do some of this green. Be enough. Yeah. No, this is, oh, frustrating. Right. Okay, hopefully that's a decent enough quantity of paint. It will go on where I need it. It'll appear thick enough. And I will just lightest in the middle. I'll drag it out from there. There we are. Flash of light at the bottom of there. Flash at the top of here. There, it's got some texture in it now, which I quite like. Yeah, that's enough of that. Right here. There we go. Introduce a bit of yellow where it's needed. Right, that's fine. Hmm. Is that enough of the greenery? I think it probably is. Ah, damn it. Reflections. That's okay. Cool. Hmm. The last things I do are going to be little relatives of this background colour, including there and here. Let's put some light against that as well. I haven't introduced any yellow yet. That will probably help in due course. Right, definitely under here. This greenishness will help turn the red up as well. Accentuate the shadows without me losing too much colour. And really just trying to make a thick bit of paint so it sits up on the surface. It's all a little bit too fluid. Is the other one, a bit of this orange. Starting to find my way into this now. Yeah, that's nice. Too thick. Although the overhead light is probably making more of that than it should. It brings out that texture. Okay. I've got this light on. I can put in a few placeholders for what will be highlights on here. I can also allow myself to be taking some paint away. Yeah, what we're looking for whatever goes in here. I do. I've already got that pink on there, but maybe it's not light enough. Yeah, I think that could feasibly do it. Stick with the same brush and get the excess paint off it. And the naphtha red. It's conveniently just lying on the floor. So that's obviously a hint from somewhere. Nope. There we go. More of that orange, especially around there. I'm doing all this with brush mixes, but perhaps I ought to have got the knife involved. There we are. There we go. Now we're talking. There's some of this we can do with chroma. Some of it we can do with tone. Sometimes it's difficult to tell which. Back to tone. Okay, that's a nice bit. I've got some white. with a bit of cadmium yellow and some naphtha red. Put that on there. That is a nice highlight. Same here. No. Not quite taking. That here. I was quite happy. What do I think? Put some of these highlights onto there. A little bit in there. That's better. And nice and marks as well. There's enough texture on here to distract. Last bit, let's go back to that blue brush, I think. Just chuck a load of ultramarine into this. And a bit of white, last bit of mixing white. There we are. I think they are some nice tomatoes. So I sign it in. I guess we'll sign it in red, won't we? Whew. Well, it's nice to be back at it. And committing it to film as well. I hope that was entertaining for you, whoever you are. Oh, hang on, there's loads in there. There we are. So here's the last little bit. Right. It's into the single camera mode. There's my my tomato. Nice bit of a blur there. If we go up close, you can see the green bit changes in colour. So hopefully that creates a little bit of a sense of the translucency and all that kind of stuff. And yes. So don't forget, Art Weeks is coming up. Art Weeks is in about 3 weeks' time, or something like that. It starts. There's stuff all over the county. You can see, well, you can't see because of lighting. 23rd of May to the 7th of June. And all sorts of bits and pieces for you to go and investigate all around the county. Studios, exhibitions, and such. Thanks for coming. See you next time. Hello.